All right, welcome to Talk Tickers. So on February 10th, Cloudflare dropped its Q4 earnings, and wow. In just a few minutes, the entire market's view of the company completely flipped. So what we're going to do is break down exactly what happened, why it happened, and most importantly, what it means for the stock moving forward. So, the market's reaction, it was immediate and it was loud. I mean, right after the numbers came out, the stock just rocketed up almost 9%. Now, this wasn't just some small bump, right? This was a huge, explosive thumbs up from Wall Street, a real validation of not just the numbers, but the story that Cloudflare was about to spin. Okay, so what was behind that huge rally? Well, it all starts with the headline numbers. Before we dive into the big story they told, let's just look at the raw data, how they stack up against what Wall Street was expecting. And listen, the size of the beat here is really the key. Wall Street was penciling in about $591 million in revenue. Cloudflare came in and just blew past that with over $614 million. Then you look at the bottom line. They posted earnings of 28 cents per share, which was just a penny better than expected, but still, a beat is a beat. It was a clear, solid win on both the top and the bottom lines. But here's the real kicker. It wasn't just a beat. It was an acceleration. You see, revenue shot up 34% year over year. And get this, that's the third quarter in a row where their growth has actually gotten faster. Now, for a company this big, that is a massive signal to investors. It tells you that momentum isn't just there, it's actually building. And you have to remember the context here because it's so important. Going into this report, the stock had actually been taking a beating. It was down 11% over the last 3 months. All the chatter was about its valuation. Was it just too expensive? So the market needed more than just a good quarter. It was demanding proof, real proof that this growth story was the real deal and could justify that high price tag. And boy, did Cloudflare deliver that proof. How? They reframed their entire growth story around the one thing everyone is talking about in tech right now, AI. Yeah, on the earnings call, CEO Matthew Prince, he didn't mince words. He came out and said that AI isn't some problem they have to deal with. No, it's the biggest tailwind their business has ever had. And he argued this is way bigger than just selling stuff to AI companies. He's talking about a fundamental change in how the entire internet is going to work. He has a name for it, the agentic internet. And the idea is actually pretty simple, but it's huge. Think about it. For years, internet traffic has been us, humans clicking on websites, watching videos. But now, more and more traffic is coming from automated AI agents, bots that are scraping data, running queries, talking to other apps, all at a scale and speed we can't even comprehend. And all that activity, it creates this massive, exploding demand for network services. So this whole idea creates what the company is calling a virtuous flywheel. It's a really cool concept. Step 1, developers start building their AI apps on Cloudflare's Workers platform. Step 2, as these AI agents start doing their thing, they create a tidal wave of traffic. And that, in turn, drives huge demand for Cloudflare's main products, their security and performance services. It becomes this awesome self-reinforcing loop where one part of the business just keeps feeding the other. Now, this wasn't just talk. Management came with receipts. They pointed to a monster $85 million deal they signed with a major AI company, and that company chose Cloudflare over the giant cloud providers. On top of that, they talked about how they're kicking out the old guard, the legacy players, inside Fortune 500 companies that are now scrambling to deal with all this new AI complexity. And during the Q&A, they really hit this point home, calling themselves the ultimate picks and shovels play for this AI gold rush. You know the saying, right? During a gold rush, sell shovels. So while the big cloud giants, the hyperscalers, are spending billions and billions on GPUs just to rent them out, Cloudflare's playing a different game. It's a smarter, more capital-efficient model. They're all about selling efficient compute, basically helping their customers get way more done with the hardware they already have, and that is a huge differentiator. Okay, so you've got this great quarter, this amazing AI story, and it all builds up to the main event, the guidance. Look, a great quarter is, well, it's great. But what really, truly moves a stock is what the company says is coming next. And they absolutely delivered. The guidance they gave for the next quarter and for the full year 2026 both came in way ahead of what Wall Street was expecting. This was it. This was the proof the market was waiting for. They put hard numbers behind that big AI story, giving investors exactly the kind of concrete forecast they were demanding. and you can see the impact almost second by second. At 4 p.m., the stock closes at about $180. At 5 p.m., the earnings report and that killer guidance hits the wire. And just 10 minutes later, 10 minutes, the stock is already trading at $196. No doubt about it, that strong guidance was the fuel that lit the fire. So what we saw happen right there, that was a classic re-rating. It's a term we use when the market basically changes its mind fundamentally about a company's future. It's more than just a good quarter. It's a major shift where investors suddenly decide, you know what, we're willing to pay a much higher price for this stock because they believe the whole growth story just got a massive upgrade. So now that we've seen this powerful re-rating happen, the big question is, what's next? So let's get into our own thesis for the next call. Really, the key question now is, was this just a flash in the pan, a one-time thing? Or is this the start of something much bigger and more sustainable? What's clear is that Cloudflare totally succeeded in changing the conversation. Nobody's talking about high valuation anymore. Now it's all about this accelerating AI-fueled demand for their platform. And let me tell you, management's confidence is through the roof. The CEO, Matthew Prince, had this closing line on the call that just summed it all up. This is not a company that's on its back foot, playing defense. No way! They truly believe they are in the absolute best position of any company out there to win in this new agentic internet. So that all brings us to our final segment, the next call. Here's our prediction. We think this momentum from AI demand and big enterprise wins is going to continue, and that's going to keep fueling growth. For the stock itself, we expect it to hold on to these gains, maybe trade sideways for a bit as the market digests everything, and then start testing new highs. And because of all that, our official rating on Cloudflare is outperform. So the market has bought into the story. It's rewarded the narrative. Now, all eyes are on Cloudflare to see if this agentic internet can really deliver on its incredible promise. And as always, just a quick reminder, this analysis is for informational purposes only. It is not financial advice.